All right, let's go to Parker in Memphis, Tennessee. What's up, Parker?
John freaking Delony.
Parker freaking Parker. What's up, dude? I don't know if your last name is
talking to the best.
Is your last name Parker too? Please say yes.
Ever.
Yes, this is the best Okay. Hold on, dude. I keep interrupting you. What'd you say?
I said, I can't believe I'm talking to the best mental health expert on the best mental health podcast ever.
Yes. Okay. So real quick clarification. I'm not even close to the best mental health professional, but this is the best show, right? I'm not even the top 200, dude. Not top 2,000. I'm not very good.
Top 200. Come on, man. Give yourself some credit. You know?
But we got a dope podcast. All right. Make sure you talk directly into your phone. Okay. So what's up? Life all right?
Yeah, life is good. I practiced that intro like 20 times, and apparently my phone cut out, so that's cool.
All right. Do it again. Well, hey, listen.
I can't believe I'm talking to the greatest mental health expert on the greatest mental health podcast ever.
Dude. So we established this earlier, but I'll say it again. I'm not really good at being a mental health expert. I'm not very good, but this is the greatest show of all time ever. You did nail that one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So what's up, Parker? How can I help?
Hey, real quick, what belts are you in jiu-jitsu?
Oh, dude, I was trained by a guy who did all his training in Japan, and then my other coach was from mainland China. Both of them believed that belts were for American kids to feel good about themselves and to pay. So anyway, they had a whole thing against belts. So no belts for me, dude.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I've never heard that before. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, it would be really cool if I had a belt hanging from, but I would have been not very far along.
I got you. Cool.
But in my heart, super black belt, dude.
No, 100%, man.
Yes. So what's up?
Okay. So my question is, man, did I set my son up for a life of anxiety?
Yes.
I'll give you a backstory.
Okay.
When I was about 11 or 12, I had like these big dreams of being like in the UFC, doing MMA and all that stuff. And if I start rambling, just let me know. Just interrupt me.
Have you ever listened to this show before?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I ramble a lot.
I'm a natural rambler too. So
there you go. You're in good company. All right, go for it.
All right. So like all my life, I had these dreams of being this the next Conor McGregor or Michael Chandler or something like that. And to be honest, I've done martial arts my whole life, and I started to get distracted. I got a wife, I got married, and I had a kid. And when I had my first kid, I was like, I didn't really try hard enough to do this MMA thing, so I'm gonna try it. And so I accumulated a record of like 3-2, which is not not amazing, but it's had potential. And then I had a second kid, and around that time, I decided I was like, I don't think I need to get punched in the face all the time and not get paid for it. So I decided to quit the pursuit of MMA. And when that happened, I felt this hole in my heart where martial arts had been my whole life. And so I started feeling that with alcohol. Mm. And it was kind of like a slow start. It was 1-2 drinks here or there. And then it turned into every weekend. And then it turned into like every time I was awake, I was either buzzed or had anxiety. And my now 5-year-old, he was in for all of that. And so I became, I became like a ticking time bomb. I was just always yelling, always screaming. I was kind of just, like you said in your book, radioactive. And at the beginning of 2022, I decided to really, get control of my life back. I lost about 40 pounds. I stopped drinking and really started, working on myself so that I can be better for my family. And then a couple of days ago, I was on TikTok, and I saw this Mel Robbins interview with a neuroscientist that said 80% of your 80% of your childhood development starts at like between 0 and 5 years old. And man, I almost dropped my phone because I was such a hothead, such a radioactive person between his 0 and 5. And so my question to you is, did I set him up for a life of anxiety? And if I did, what can I do to, help him navigate through this life?
Yeah, dude, that's a great question, man. Thanks for telling that story. I wasn't rambling at all. That was really good, man.
Okay, cool.
And we track a lot. Some of my story is very similar. The reason I got into mixed martial arts initially was because I ran my mouth so much. And I always found myself, every time I went out with my buddies, every time I played a pickup basketball game, and I had friends that were nuts and they loved fighting. And so I found myself a disconnect between how much I ran my mouth and what I knew deep down I was not capable of doing. And so I began my journey there really to wallpaper over a very insecure little boy that had now suddenly found himself inside of a man's body.
Mm-hmm.
And my dreams, I never dreamed of being professional. That was never the thing. I liked going to the gym every night with, I think at one point, the state kickboxing heavyweight champion was there, the light heavyweight champion was there, some killers, man. And then when China won the Olympics and they started running through Sanshou fighters, it was, some of the craziest athletes in the world. And it was awesome. And I felt myself transition from this scared little boy who was trying to bow up and show everybody, oh, yeah, to the most peaceful, calm guy I could possibly be. And so I'm a firm believer. My kids are getting involved in it soon. Like, I'm a firm believer in martial arts over the long haul because I think it takes some of that nonsense out of you. So the first thing I would ask you is, this is a private conversation for you and yourself. Was any of that dream, any of that lifelong journey in mixed martial arts and martial arts, was any of that a way to run from something you thought you were not? It might not be, but I think that's...
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? Okay. That's where I would start, because that was for me. Whew. Here's a challenge scientists face. Many things can be true at the same time, and it's very hard to digest that in the public. And so while what Mel Robbins and the neuroscientists said is accurate, an unfathomable amount of neurodevelopment happens from 0 to 5. Tons and tons and tons of, your brain is literally growing itself. You may have heard this, but really the first 18 months of a kid's life is really considered the fourth trimester. You can't really have a trimester, but the brain's not done developing yet. Humans just have their babies early. And so all that to say is, that's true. And genetic dispositions are true. And none of that is causal. None of that is deterministic. That's also true. And what that means is, when somebody is as loving and wise as you, who's able to go, whoa, I don't like the set of train tracks I'm on. The beauty is, A, there's messages like that get your attention, and B, there's light and hope in the next set of train tracks you put you and your family on.
Yeah.
So I want you to sleep well at night. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. If you keep going the same way you've been going, absolutely. Your kid's going to reflect your angst, your rage. Being the child of an alcoholic is evil, dude, because you're there in body, but you're not there in person and spirit. And a kid feels lost, right? So all that's true. You do nothing, yes. So I'm going to tell you what just happened at my house, okay? This is me just being vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
It's a shameful thing for me because I do this for a living, okay? And it's so cool to talk to people about their parents and their marriage and their kids and all that. And then I got parents and I'm married and I got kids. And so I get to live at home and see if this actually works or not. So I had a really gnarly interaction with my daughter. I'm probably gonna get choked up here. She wouldn't let me tuck her in at night. She just said no. And to the point that she was screaming and crying, like it was a big mess. And at first I was just trying to give my wife a night off or 2 nights off or 3 nights off. And then I was like, hey, I just want to hug my daughter. And she's 7. She wouldn't do it. And then it became like after breakfast, before she went to school, like, hey, can I have a hug before you go to school? And she would just look at me and walk away. And then my inner Texas male was like, that's disrespectful, and I'm this, and you need to, like, I'm your father, like that, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I called a buddy of mine that's a counselor, and she gave me some good wisdom. And then my wife said something that was really powerful. And it reminded me back of a Gabor Mate book that I read, and that's I think one of the most important books ever written about parenting. It's called Hold On to Your Kids. But here's what he says. Be likable. Be likable. And maybe your 7-year-old little girl doesn't not like her dad. In fact, she loves him deeply, but she feels that energy off his, like, pulsing out of you. And suddenly, I wrote about it in the book. I realized, oh crap, I've become old me again. I'm a nuclear reactor. I'm always hot. I'm always coming in late. I'm always flying around the place. I'm always just right on edge, right on edge, right on edge. And I'm gonna tell you this, dude. I went, and at the same time, I had a boss, someone I work with, tell me that I'm really hard to be friends with. Not because I'm not a nice guy. I tell the truth, all that. I'm just a lot. I just overwhelm people, all the time. So then I did something that the Texas male in me never thought would happen, and I decided I'm going to try to be really likable. And what that meant was I had to be very peaceful, and what that meant was I had to start just changing the way I experienced the world, the way I thought about things, what I did, what I ate, how much I slept, all that stuff. Yeah. And this morning, let me get choked up. This morning, my wife had to peel my daughter off of me because we were having a hug-off competition. Okay? So I want you to have peace in your soul. It can change. What you're going to want to do is come up with a program, or what are the 10 steps to? And I don't think that's the map back to a kid's heart, to a non-anxious kid. What you're going to have to do is decide, I want to have a non-anxious life. I want to have a non-anxious house. That means we got to own reality. That means we got to choose freedom. We're not going to owe people money. We're not going to be like, you're going to set yourself up in a position over the next 3 to 5 years where you can quit at any time. A job, if you've got a toxic boss or somebody asking you to do something you don't want to do, you're going to take care of your body. Y'all are going to get connected to something bigger than yourself. You're going to practice mindfulness at your house. You're going to create a non-anxious life for yourself. And your kids will become that. I believe that with all my heart.
Yeah, and that's what I've been working on this year, or this in 2022, is, trying my best to live a non-anxious life. It's difficult, but
it's real hard. It's real hard. Okay, and I know that. I want to challenge you on a couple of things. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of things I want you to try with your kid, and I'm going to challenge you on a couple of things, and I'm going to give you some tools. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Okay. I want you, with your 5-year-old, to start a journal with him on his bed. Just go to Walgreens and buy like a crappy spiral. And it might be a picture of daddy smiling, and with an over, I want you to draw like an over, like the smile extra big.
Yeah.
It might be like a heart, and just put it on his pillow. And his job is to write to you before he goes to school the next day. And color in it or whatever that looks like. Okay? I want you to start that practice. The second one is, really practice just being around them. Let them know that you like them. Every moment is not a teaching moment. Every second is not a life lesson. Everything is not like a, hey, you need to pick this up. Why are you doing like that? You need to dry off. Why are you doing that? Are you going to wear deodorant? Like, he's only 5, I know.
Yeah.
But, it's like, just like being around your kid. Yes, there's some things you got to tell them to do, but if you get angry, which you will, if you don't get angry, you should probably go see a psychiatrist, because that's not normal. I want you to take a knee and look your kid in the eye and say, I'm choosing anger right now, and this is not about you, and I'm sorry if I scared you. I'm not sorry that I'm angry, but I'm sorry that I scared you. But daddy's not angry at you. Okay? I want you to teach him there's a difference between your anger and him. Okay? Touch him on his face every single day. Hold his face if you can. I told my kid when he was really little, I'm going to hug you every day of your life, and it's going to be weird. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a secret breakfast date. Does he go to school yet?
Yeah, he's in pre-K, so he gets off usually at like 11 or so.
if y'all had like I take my son to Waffle House once a week, and it's become magic time because it'll be nothing, 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 nothing. And then suddenly he's like, hey, Dad, can we talk about something? And I've created a world where that's okay because it happens regularly, right? Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to send you a couple of things. I'm going to send you the full Financial Peace University. I work here at Ramsey Solutions to help you and your family get out of debt. Any money you owe anybody else, I'm going to give you the plan to get out of debt. It's helped millions of people do it. I'm going to give it to you for free. Okay. You got to watch the lessons and you got to do it. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay. Also, I'm going to send you my buddy Lane Norton's Carbon app. I get no money from this. It's the app I use to keep track of my diet, nutrition, and it's the best there is. Okay. Also, I'm going to send you the newest workout from my buddies over at Mind Pump. It's their MAPS anabolic program, advanced. Okay. You got to get your butt back in the gym. Cool.
Yes, sir.
And I think a great gift you could give your kid is to start going back to jiu-jitsu classes and not doing it because I'm going to be Conor McGregor, but doing it because I want to be able to roll around with my grandkids when I'm 90.
Oh yeah. And I have been, we've been in a weird season of life where we're in the middle of a house renovation. So that's eating up all of our time, but yeah, I've been in the gym quite a bit, but
good. Well, I'm going to send you some stuff. Okay. And, hang on the line here and Jenna's going to get it to you. These things I'm telling you, taking care of your body, taking care of your nutrition, taking care of your finances, taking care of your calendar, taking care of you, your marriage, all those things, dude, create a non-anxious household. And it lets your little boys and your second kid know, come what may, in here, I'm safe. And with that guy, I'm safe. So everybody listen and hear me. Yes. Much of your neurodevelopment happens from 0 to 5. I think that's probably accurate. And neuroplasticity is a thing that will last with you through your lifetime. So it's never too late to reconnect with your kids. It's never too late to reconnect with your spouse. It's never too late to reconnect with your friends. It's never too late to reconnect with yourself. You can always get off the train tracks that you're on. And if you have to, just start walking another direction. But you can get on another set of train tracks and head off into adventures unknown. Whew. You can always start again. Thanks for your call, my brother.